Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Wally Weasel. And here we are with, well, the end of Nier Automata. Yeah, I've made my decision. That's just. I'll tweet that out. Yeah, let's. We'll load the game. We'll play the game. Um, do I really care about this anymore? No, not really. No, I'm just gonna load it back here because, like I said, that's it's gonna be it. It's gonna be a very short stream because, yeah, as soon as I get everything situated. There we go. I'll go near the mana. Done. Save. There we go. Alright, well, that's a nice ending. Let's get on back here. Okay, first thing I want to do, because I'm just going to be talking, is I want to turn down the music, turn down the sound effects, definitely turn off the voices. Yeah, because I don't want to get distracted. Alright, so, why exactly are we ending things with Nier Automata? It's because I essentially feel that Nier Automata is done. And anything else has basically been rather superfluous. Um, the introduction of okay, I'm just gonna fight whatever. The introduction of like these two new villains, it just came out of nowhere. It's a bit much. Not to mention that last mission. That last mission was just annoying from start to finish, basically. Like I don't think that there was any ever a single redeeming quality within it, because it's like they infect the Orha, and the commander just kind of stays behind, and we're supposed to be feeling sorry about it and all upset because oh no, the commander is I guess dead or something. But the thing is that we didn't even get to know the commander. We didn't find out what she was about. We didn't see any reason to, well, quite frankly, care. She's just basically like, a no-name NPC. Really, honestly, no different than most any other. So, yeah, like I kind of thought about it, and like I'm not a fan of being negative without showing some positivity, and for me, it's a negativeness that comes from whatever. It's a negativeness that I can probably correct. All right. So yeah, you saw how it all went down. Um, after that, we did the crash landing, and then 2B had to go to the commercial sector in order to, I guess, uh, expel herself of the virus. And yeah, that's really about it. She's being pushed around by robots who are just the most annoying thing in any game. Like, I don't know how they could have been more annoying. But yeah. And then, you know, but as I said, I'm pretty sure I could do it better. Take that, 2B. Okay, so listen to this. Listen to this. So I'm going to keep hold of some of the standard things. All right, I'm not going to change out the story or anything stupid like that. Just to basically be all like, oh, well, there's the problem. I fixed that. No, like the standard beats will be the commander is still not coming down with us. You know, the commander is still infected. So I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to change the crash landing, and I'm not going to change 2B being infected or anything like that. All I'm going to change is basically everything else around that. Okay? So, everything pretty much happens as is up on the main base. You know, you got the Yorha being infected and all that. Well, not good stuff, but you know. And so 9S and 2B have to fight their way off alongside the commander. And I do mean alongside the commander. I want the commander to basically join in the fight because we need to see the commander that is as someone that we can actually, you know, be thankful to be around and be all like, oh wow, you know, it'd be kind of cool if she stuck around because you know she's a pretty good fighter and stuff. You know, like just give her, you know, like A2's moveset or whatever. We haven't seen enough of her to really know what's going on. So it's not like we'd be like, oh man, those lazy developers, they just gave her A2's moveset. You know, that way when she leaves, you have a better connection with her because you've seen her fight and you understand why she's the commander instead of just her standing around staring, you know, like a lost puppy. Level 10, why do you have a health bar? Whatever. So, same thing goes on. You get to your transports or what have you, whatever you want to call them, and they find out that they're being hacked because, of course, they would be. They're your host transport off. So why they wouldn't be hacked, I have no idea. 9S needs to be given some time in order to eliminate the hack, and the commander goes basically sacrifices herself. She says like I'm infected anyway, so I'm gonna go put down a good fight and get rid of these guys, you know, as best I can. You go do your thing, pretty much. So that's pretty much what happens. You know, 9S manages to remove enough of the virus to get him and 2B off the thing, and they leave. Commander is left behind, but we actually have a much more unfortunate moment in seeing it happen, because again, we have something of a connection. We Yeah. So they're flying down. They're about to yeah whatever. They're about to or they're being surrounded by the infected Yorha units, and they sense that there's still some infection in their flying doohickeys. Ow, whatever. So that's why 2B shoots down or basically nudges 9S out of the sky because he needs to be out of his suit in order to remove his infection. And 2B's like, I will meet you after I lose these Yorha units. So 9S crash lands into the commercial sector, and 2B is going to go out and fight him. All right, so now we have a proper reason for 2B to go to the commercial sector aside from, oh, I got to go there because there are no Yorha units. Even though when she lands, there are no Yorha units around her or anything like that. So, you know, it actually makes more sense in that regard. And at the same time, if 2B is in trouble, why wouldn't she go to the resistance camp? The resistance camp is far closer than the commercial sector. So, yeah, why wouldn't she go there? Or what? What the hell? Okay, whatever. Somebody in there. Anyway, so 2B is still infected. Has to work her way towards the commercial sector to get to 9S, and the robots are still there. However, they're not attacking. All right, they're not attacking because why would they attack? Uh, 2B has proven herself to be a powerful Yorha unit. You would think that this new evil twosome or whatever would uh, would essentially want 2B to be well to be theirs. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They just make robots attack because it's I don't know fun in their eyes. And when 2B is infected, she's fighting. She's she's struggling. She still she doesn't walk the entire time, but she will walk for like the last little bit. Just don't make her walk the entire way to the commercial sector because that's a bit too far and a bit too boring. And we get the point after a tiny bit of her walking. And she's still able to swing her sword. She's not able to swing her sword as well as she has been up to this point because again, she's infected, but she's desperate. She's desperate and she's willing to keep fighting because that's the thing we want to press forward. That no matter what, 2B will keep fighting. So she's able to swing her sword once. No combos or anything like that. No, we'll listen and say that no, okay, she can't jump. But whenever she swings, she's basically pushed forward a tiny bit just to kind of show that she's putting a lot of weight behind her swings because that's the only thing that she can do. Does she hit a robot? I don't know. It doesn't really matter whether she hits a robot or whether they dodge. More than likely, I would say that they should just dodge. Because again, they're taunting her. They're basically showing, like, hey, you're super weak and you're about to, you know, give in to the infection or the virus, I guess. And yeah, like, so again, why would they try and kill her? And, she gets to the place, she finds the Yorha units, and, blah, blah, blah. All of this fun stuff happens. A2 arrives. Because, in case you're wondering, in the original, when you get to this commercial sector, there are Yorha units. So, you know. So, yeah, it's just writing like that compared to the writing of the first two routes, which I really did enjoy. Like, I really did like the concept of the robots. The robots who believe that it was their duty or their programming to adhere to human civilization. And therefore, they would revamp themselves to basically be that way. To basically go and, you know, develop a new generation, look after one another, take after religion, all that fun stuff. It's like you get the emphasis of that when the king of the forest dies. And they're like, well, I mean, we're going to put the king in the new body, and the new body has to be a child. Like, there's no logical reason for that aside from that's just how things go with humanity. And they get all confused as to why the child, after a few hundred years, hasn't grown, but they're still going to protect it because it's got like the chips or what have you of the original king in there. So yeah, but all this new kind of writing was, as I've said, just felt rushed. Like they wrote the first two routes, and then Square Enix execs were like, well, "This is a bit of a short game, isn't it? You wanna lengthen it out." So they just basically came up with the third route and decided, this is good enough. We'll come across like new villains that were never mentioned, and a new scenario that, well, was never touched upon, as opposed to just continuing on with the writing that they had. So, suffice to say, as I'm not a fan of this third route. It's basically destroying the game that I do enjoy, that I have come to love, and I don't want to adhere to it. I don't want to keep pushing forward and seeing where it goes because I'm not curious at all. A little bit is, yes, the gameplay, um, the annoying gameplay and stuff. I'm not going to deny that. Like as I said, this channel isn't about impressing people or what have you. If there's something that I can't do, then I'll bring it up. And this is something that I feel like I can't do, and because it's mainly something that I won't do because it's just something that I can't see my heart going into. So yeah, Nier Automata is done on the channel. As far as I'm concerned, when I defeated Eve, that was basically ending the game. When I defeated Eve the second time, sorry, that was basically the end of the game. This third route is fan fiction. That's my head canon. And if it's not something that appeases to you, my apologies, but um, it's just the thing, or just the way I see things. And I mean, at the end of the day, this is my channel, and I would hope that people will be understanding and that the games I want to play are the games I want to play, and not, you know, stuff I really don't want to. So yeah, um, new games will come out on Monday. I think for the next 2 weeks, we're going to explore some side stuff. A couple of smaller games, not super small. It'll still take a few hours to play, but I figure since I'm going to be on vacation, I have no plans on either Monday, at least thus far, in terms of like as it is right now at the time of this streaming. Um, yeah, they will just get through those two games, and then in 3 weeks we'll start a whole new game. I have one in mind, but it may change. That's why I don't want to announce anything about that just yet, because I could like come across something new, or something new that I never even knew was coming out could come out that was like, holy hell, this game looks fun and interesting. So yeah, we shall see. In the coming weeks, I do hope to get some new kind of videos done up. I have an idea on what I want to do in response to the Fallout TV series season 2 trailer. Um, I know I'm pretty late to the party on that. It's just that I haven't had time to really record anything. But if you want initial thoughts, it does look good. So um, aside from that, I'll see what else I can do when it is just me and the cat and nothing else. So yeah, um, so pretty much I think I gave my review of the gameplay and like the first route I beat. So I'm not really gonna repeat myself there. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Said this was a super short stream because it was just basically me explaining why I'm not playing the game anymore. And yeah, we'll just get them back to the safe zone. Kind of feel like I owe them that. Okay, not that way. Excuse me, guys. Should be, yeah, there it is. Do. But yeah, tomorrow more Kingdom Hearts. It won't be as long a stream as last week, but it'll be a fair good size stream. And then, yeah, I don't know the narrative of humanity being dead. Aren't these guys humans? I mean, if not humans, then just cybernetic humans. I think some of them have like. It's very hard to tell, but they do look very human. Of course, they could also just be Yorha units that were just didn't want to play ball anymore. I don't know. Either way, they just seem like humans. So again, I didn't really get the emphasis of, oh, the humans are all dead. Anyways, yeah. And then on Wednesday, more Wasteland. Let's hope we can get Banshee her, like, what is it, 14 experience points? That we can properly explore the basement. And yeah, What's Up Wrestling on Friday. Calendar every Saturday. And that will do it. I'll take a break. Sure, why not? Come join me, 2B. We're going to say that Adam was right. We want to have sex. Let's save. And no, we're done. And that's it. Bye, everybody.